I've dreamed of Norway. The mountains, rivers, lakes, and wild spaces away from cities and other people. I've been dreaming for the past year, and now the time has finally come to head out on the road with our camper and escape into the wilderness of Norway. Our first stop after we leave Denmark is a tiny little town in the south of Sweden called Falsterbo. When I first moved to Scandinavia, I spent 2 years living in a tiny home on the Baltic Sea in Falsterbo, and returning was kind of like coming home in a way. Pepsi and I spent the morning visiting our old favorite trails and beaches and Pepsi's favorite digging spot, and it was just as quaint as I remembered. We finished our walk, got some computer work done, and then began our first routine of packing up the camper to drive north to Gothenburg. Going north feels like the first taste of freedom as we leave behind the flat landscape to the south and enter rolling hills and endless forests. I'd craved the wilderness for so long, and as we hike around a beautiful lake, I take a deep breath that I feel I've been holding for a very long time. Each day we move on to a new location, eager to cross the border into Norway, and we arrive late the next night. It's dark when we pull up to the first rest stop, so we skip dinner and go straight to sleep after the long drive. We wake up to our first view of mountains in the morning, and we start stocking up on essentials like water, not really knowing when we're going to be able to fill up next. We hit the road again, and the drive is absolutely gorgeous.
What view do you want today?
And then there's this. Oh my God. Look at this. Wow.
Come on down. Pepsi. Where are we? Oh, hi, stretchy boy.
This situation is exactly why we got a camper to begin with, because we can have the flexibility to stop wherever we want, whenever we want. We had actually planned on continuing a little farther today, but this rest stop was on the map we created and we saw it and knew we had to stop for the night because it is riverfront with mountains all around us and it is just so gorgeous. I am so happy to be here right now.
Here we go. Our little candles are on.
We've been out in the camper for a couple of days now and it's definitely been a learning experience for us. We didn't really have the time to take this camper out on a trip prior to leaving for Norway, so we're learning as we go and we've had to make a couple of adjustments. One being that we had to add this not so pretty Velcro tape to all of our upper cabinets because as we were driving, we have these big Tupperware containers filled with all of our vegan food and a couple of them actually fell onto our table, which I am crushed about. I absolutely love our fake marble 1995 table here, but we're gonna have to replace in the future because now it has a couple of dents in it. But that's been kind of the most negative of our learning experiences so far. Otherwise, the camper and our car have held up really well and we've finally gotten into the mountains in Norway. Today was such a beautiful drive and after being away from mountains for so long and living in a very flat landscape in Denmark, I just feel so happy. I can't stop smiling and looking up around at the beautiful scenery. It's really, really nice to be here. And for being a relatively old camper, it's been really comfortable. We have absolutely everything we could ever need. A full kitchen, sitting area where we can work, bedroom, toilet. We haven't really felt like we're lacking for anything. It is the perfect home on the road for us and our dog Pepsi. And now that we've settled on our spot for the night, I'm gonna whip up some food for us and for Pepsi. And yeah, I don't really know what our plan is, just to relax and soak up the atmosphere. So that's what we're gonna do.
I'm a big fan.
Thanks, babe. That's really nice.
Starting to get that smell of coffee, vanilla.
Nice scented candle.
Yeah.
All along, I had planned to bathe in rivers and lakes along the way. I had my first cold water dip in Sweden the previous year, and the invigorated feeling made me want to do it again. It's cold, there's no doubt about that. But the rising mist off of the water and the sound of the rushing river in the early morning made it so worth it. I dry off, head inside to wake up Lucas and Pepsi, and after that, it's time to head out on the road again. For weeks, I had planned our first long-term stay in Norway at Bondhusvatnet. We were going to park in a little secluded parking lot beside a river with access to trails and a glacier lake with no one else around. And that is not at all how it actually went. By the time that we found out that the pandemic has turned this cozy little spot into a complete tourist trap with hundreds of people, we were already in the thick of it. I am very introverted, and crowds of people stress me out like nothing else. This is my first time out here where my expectation hasn't been met, and that's something that can easily trigger anxiety for me. It's the reason that I bring CBD oil or gummies everywhere I go. Realistically, having things not go according to plan is not the end of the world, but with my anxiety, it can often feel that way. So I take some CBD, knowing that it's pretty much the only thing that will help this pass, and we take stock of the situation. We're not going to stay here after all, that is clear, but it doesn't mean that we can't try to have the experience that we originally wanted. So we wait until later in the day, until nearly everyone is off the trail, and we start to hike. It's cloudy, and in a couple hours it'll be dark, but for now we have the trail all to ourselves. It's us, our dog Pepsi, and the glacier river rushing by us. We're surrounded by towering mountains, and it's one of the most beautiful views I've ever seen.
Pepsi, who's the best? Are you the best?
A paid campsite is our only choice for the night, so we settle in to make some dinner.
There we go.
By necessity, our meals out here are simple and made in small batches. And just the act of making a wholesome vegan meal allows some of the stress of the day to melt away.
Good.
I think it's also because we started using it. How much do you need to know?
1 cup of dry cooked.
Gives you two and a
Yesterday taught us the need for being flexible out here, and since I know we're leaving again, Pepsi and I wake up early to hike the trail to the glacier lake one last time.
Can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city life. Hey darling, we could get out of town, see the beautiful world around, wanna see it now. Pack our bags and get in that car, leave a little note and we'll drive real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city. Let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair. We can
Again, we move on. Our original plan of staying in a few select places long term is completely out the window, but it's kind of exciting to make up a new one as we go along. We settle into the same routine in our camper. We wake up, hike, work on our computers, clean, make simple vegan food for ourselves and our dog Pepsi, fill up our water tanks and our heater tank, and do the dishes, which is probably my least favorite part of being on the road. Going to Eidfjord wasn't in the plan, but once we arrive, I am happy that our schedule was disrupted. Otherwise, we might never have come here. It's like we're stepping onto the set of Jurassic Park. The mountains are so towering, so stunning. It's like nothing I've ever seen. Each time we find a new river, I wash away the grime of the road. I'm mindful, and I only use greywater-safe, biodegradable soaps, mostly using organic oils. And even though it is really cold to bathe in the river in the moment, afterwards, it's just as refreshing each time. We end up moving to a new location every few days, driving for shorter stints and exploring new places. And each week that we're out here, we charge our off-grid power system at a campsite. It's honestly working great, way better than expected, allowing us to live and work in the camper for about 6 days or more on just one charge. And at this point, camper life just feels normal, like we were always out here. It's simple, but it allows us to soak up the atmosphere of each new location. There's one last hike before we're off again. It's a beautiful day, a beautiful trail, and I'm hiking in my Vibram Five Fingers, as I always do. Pepsi absolutely loves the trail, and he easily navigates the rocky landscape until we reach a gorgeous cliffside waterfall. He's 11 years old now, but he's healthier than he's ever been with his vegan diet and lots of exercise outdoors like hiking. Our day couldn't get any better until an evening storm gives us a view of a gorgeous rainbow over Eidfjord, and it's the perfect end to our first 2 weeks in Norway.